Here we are comparing education in the United States and China. So we are going to look at understanding the success of the United States education system. We're going to begin with the primary education system. In the United States, we have an education system where young students receive the same education as their peers. LaPrade said the conveyor belt of education became the standard during the industrialized revolution, and basically the conveyor belt education that they are talking about is the education that has been created identical for all students across our country. And this system of education came about because of many court cases fighting injustice and segregation. As we all know, United States history, there's a lot of court cases like Plessy versus Ferguson where our education system has been molded because of different situations that occurred. In our higher education system, America has excelled over many other countries. Agresto said, not because ours is excellent, but because the rest of the world is, for now and for the foreseeable future, less than adequate. There are a lot of people coming from other countries to study in America because of our higher education system. The reason for this is because there are systems in place in other countries that are not giving everyone what they need to learn in order to become successful in their career fields. So whether they are in college here and move back to the country they came from, or come to the United States for college and just stay here, it's all varies based on the job availability or the desire of the person. Agreto also said, not only have we convinced ourselves as a nation that there is no substitute for an American college degree, we have convinced the rest of the world as well. So pretty much he's saying that to become successful in society, in the world, you have to have a college degree. He believes that this is an American ideology, which can be true. And so I guess we understand that a college education is important and the world is following in those footsteps. So for the future, when students are dedicated to learning and achieving success in an area of study, then the education system also becomes successful. The world is much more competitive than ever, and the future of the US depends upon having a competitive workforce, a workforce that is well educated and highly motivated. This is very important because if we do not have a workforce that is motivated to succeed, then it will eventually die. And it is also important for us to have students who are motivated to continue in the workforce and be passionate about what they are studying and their eventual goals in life. Miller and Sloan mentioned that many young adults believe they are entitled to more than they have earned by receiving higher pay or higher positions than their older counterparts. This has been a problem that's been seen in many different fields where young adults coming into the field who have degrees may look at people who have been in those positions for many years and are not necessarily equipped with the same education, but they have more experience. And so the young adults that are coming in are expecting to be promoted above the older generation um, and be paid more because of their education without having the necessary experience to back up their education. So that's one of the problems that is being seen and could possibly increase in the future. Next, we will look at the education system in China and the main factor of funding for the schools in China. So, we're going to focus on higher education. Many higher education schools in China have begun to rely on investments from businesses and donations to be able to stay open for students. And then the quote from Moak: "The central government, aware that the state alone cannot easily meet the pressing demand for education, has allowed non-state actors, including the market, to take part in Chinese education." So, in other words, the Chinese government is no longer able to fund the schools, or to help out the schools, and the schools are now having to go elsewhere to find their means of finances. Since the government could no longer invest in higher education, community members were encouraged to help the schools. This is important because we're now seeing that it's being directed towards the families and other community members to show just how important education is. And this can be a very positive step because you could possibly see much more dedication and passion from the community for education. So another higher education, this is a quote from another article. "Given that the Chinese higher education expansion since 1999 has significantly intensified the competition for recruiting top applicants, and all well-endowed universities use strategic enrollment policies designed regionally and spatially to attract the best and the brightest, it is critical to empirically examine spatial enrollment competition behavior among universities by questioning whether the administration scores of public university respond to the geographic proximity of competitors." So this quote shows us the importance of the students, where the students are coming from, where pretty much for the future of the universities, students that are going to take their education seriously, students that are going to help the university succeed and potentially get that funding that they will be needing. So, looking towards the future, Chinese policymakers as well as curriculum planners are increasingly aware that world developments have placed a strong demand on the need to encourage the younger generation's creativity, innovation, and social responsibility. Creating a desire within students to receive a higher education will help to instill the importance of a higher education within the minds of community members. As these students get older and remember how important a higher education was, hopefully they will also be motivated to contribute to China's growing need for funding for schools. This is important because it's all about the future needs of students, the future needs of teachers, the future needs of the schools. Students now knowing how important their education is going to help them to understand that they should help other students who are younger, who are going to be in their position in a few years, get the kind of education that they need to succeed. And by helping the students to understand that now, they will be able to they'll be able to help other students who may not understand what a higher education means, but after they have their education, they may understand it more. And the references. Thanks for listening.